in this co-op RPG deck builder roguelike. Would you dare to cross the Obelisk? Would you stop the sheep apocalypse? Mad sheep and farmers are just one enemy that you will batter along your way with a big bad wolf and a fat pig? So basically, the game has 3 different modes. It has the story mode, it has freeform, and then it has like weekly challenges. But pretty much, story mode is your basic story mode. You go through, it allows you to unlock characters, and you play through the different maps as far as you can. It is a roguelike, so you initially can only go so far before usually you end up dying. That happens. Your characters level up, you get different perks because of it. So when you do die, a lot of it carries over. Like, you get to keep a percentage of your shards, which is what you use to upgrade your cards. When you initially die, they do give you a chance. They're like, hey, do you want to retry? Do you want to not fail so bad right now, you noob? And you can try again a couple of times if you feel like you was jaded. But if you hit that wall, you can be like, screw it, and just let it reset. And so when you restart the game back over, they're like, oh, here's some like stats points you can put in. So like you can upgrade some certain things, like you can give them more health, more dodge, more blocking. You get like 4 points. You get the choice to, of course, they give you some of your gold, some of your shards back. You have cards that are unlocked. Now, you won't initially have them cards, but you can choose to like craft them because you've already unlocked them through the mode. And then you pretty much go about your merry way. Once you're out of the town, you have a branching map that you can go through, and which allows you to pretty much, it's like a battle, a quest type stuff. And it's like choose your own adventure. So like after each battle, you'll get a card, and then sometimes you might get treasure. Ooh, shiny treasure. So you definitely have a reason to like continue to play through even after you die and do the roguelike thing. That you don't want to do that. You can do the freeform mode, which pretty much allows you to go in, choose your own heroes, make your own team, build them how you want them, and then just go through and see how far you get in that. And each little fight has like 2 different choices. They're like, hey, do you want to buff? Do you want to get this? You want this card? Do you want to heal? So it's like a fun little, like, it's a fun mode, and it's enjoyable. And then the weekly mode is kind of very gimmicky and just gives you something like a weekly challenge that they add. So it's worth giving it a try. The game does come with 16 different heroes that you can unlock. They mostly have the same cards. Like, for example, if you're using healers, there's 4 different healers, and a lot of them share the core same cards, and then some of them will have a couple custom cards that are just tailored for them. And it seems like each hero ends up with their own like 2 different decks you can build, plus you can mix them. But like, for example, the priest and the pig, which is kind of priesty, both of them get a lot of like holy damage healing stuff and just regular healing. And that's kind of the way they go. The priest gets some shadow abilities, which, so a lot of the shadow cards are shared with like the Cthulhu priest. And like, he shares a lot of cards with like the chamois. And so each one of them have their own like unique kind of decks that you can build, but some of them are very similar. And then each one of them actually has their own like certain cards that they will get. Not as a lot as they led to believe. They do state that they have like 500 cards you can get. And I want to say maybe like 50 of them are unique, to each class. You also are able to get your own, each hero has their own stats, and so building them a certain way. They each have their own talent trees. Of course, you get items, so there's a lot of ways to kind of build them, and they have a lot of synergy with different cards. So it's very fun to kind of do that typical card building where you're like, hey, I'm going to build them just like this. I want to make sure that I can buff up I can set and take my mage and have her to where she can put down a bunch of water, and then I can sit there and electrocute them, and I can like buff myself up beforehand and then lay out a big electrical chain attack. So like there's a lot of that synergy within each hero. Like each class didn't like, it wasn't a lot you could really set up. There is some, but not a lot as much as I would like, but that's fine. I mean, you can literally build each, hero to have their own within their own deck. Summing up pretty much, each game will be different. You'll get to choose your different heroes. You get to choose different builds. It's a lot of replayability. If you like the core gameplay, if you've ever tried Darkest Dungeon and you want something a little less punishing, the game's worth a buy. It's going to give you what it promises. Overall, the story seems to be kind of, mid, but the gameplay's there and it's very enjoyable, and it definitely kept having me want to come back. So I would definitely, I'd give it a try. If you're on the fence, wait for it to go on sale and buy it up then, but it's worth a buy.